on to the second lesson, which is that Ulysses helps us accept and then enjoy our smallness. One of the most popular ways to happiness is to believe that everything is one grand harmony and then to like it. Ulysses helps us both to acquire the belief and make the decision. I'll expand on that process. Step 1 basically is to convince yourself that everything is vast and complex beyond your... Not convince yourself, but come to believe that everything is vast and complex beyond your comprehension and influence. Then, once you've got that, since it's, you can't pick this thing's good and this thing's bad, 'cause you don't know how they're related and how they depend on each other, and it's all one thing. You can basically only have one opinion, one stance towards everything. And the second step is to just think, my stance is going to be a positive one, that I like it. Now, I've stated that kind of frivolously, but, this, in Christianity, this is, it's God's plan, and you have faith in God being good, and God loving you. It's the belief in the oneness of all consciousnesses in various Eastern religions, and belief in the interdependence of all things. In Aurelius's meditations are full of passages aimed at demonstrating that all things are one harmony, and that to identify something as good and another as not good is ridiculous, because they are the same thing. We might be reluctant to say, I like trees, but I hate rain, because though we don't understand the exact nature of the connection, we sense that you couldn't really have one without the other, and they're kind of expressions of the same thing. Or in the Kardashians, it's everything happens for a reason. So how Joyce helps us come to the belief is not that interesting, but we'll cover it quickly. He basically gives us something so complex and rich and detailed that it reminds us how complex and rich and detailed things can be. The density, the size and interconnectedness of the cast, the geography, the style, all of that. And of course the consciousnesses of the three main characters. And also to help us believe that we can't comprehend it is that I think you could argue that those three characters are each defined more by what they cannot comprehend than what they can. And I suspect that part of the motive for having Stephen be basically at the upper limit of human intelligence is to make it clear that all human intelligence will be eluded by the universe. It's beyond comprehension for everyone. But where Joyce, it's in his approach to the second step that Joyce departs from other thought, and where the kind of the Joycean spirit, I think, is to be found in the way he persuades us to adopt a positive attitude towards this vast whole. Most schools of thought try to guide us towards a positive attitude kind of via reverence, by elevating the vast whole, kind of try and make us see its, or reflect on the majesty of it all, or have faith. Joyce instead seems to suggest that we kind of shrug and laugh a bit, and shake our heads, and maybe shrug again, and then say, yeah, I suppose it's not bad and I like it, why not? Joyce decidedly and determinedly does not render the trivial epic. This is why I warned you against reading into the connection between the Odyssey and Ulysses. It's easy to think, and many commentators do, that Joyce's project is to raise the trivial to the divine, and to reveal the Odysseus that lies dormant in every bloom. That's wrong, and Joyce, in fact, is demonstrating the futility of such projects. He shows that even if you pull out all the acrobatics and the technical brilliance and pyrotechnics and illusions, bloom will just be bloom. Even if you go to the highest altitude and look down, what you'll see is not something divine. It will be bloom, farting and forgetting to get that lotion he said he'd get, and going home at the end of the day having not really done anything. The title and the chapters and the comparisons are, if anything, a joke about how unepic bloom is. Once Joyce has taken us to the highest altitude and let us see there's nothing there, when we return to our life on the ground, we have available a new warmth towards it. We can look at our world and kind of grin and just for God's sake, like this, and just kind of laugh. It's a funny way for things to be, because after all, even though bloom is proven so rigorously to be without particular merit, we like him. We really like him, and the conclusiveness with which it has been established that he is not epic lets us see that he doesn't have to be epic, and we can take this to our own lives. There's it's like that so many consolations and philosophies that tell us not to worry about not having something, try to do it by convincing us that really we do have it or we have something better. But this is just so, it just says you don't have it, that's fine. It's so earthy and human, and even more, it's like mammalian and animal, and kind of fleshy and farting and pissing and shitting and grounded, and it's this is great. It's like deeply encouraging and life affirming. It's really good for you, I think. I remember after I read it, I was on like a kind of grimy underground somewhere, and I remember thinking, like, I feel like it's all kind of twinkling and magical, even though it's definitely not twinkling and magical. And it wasn't that I'd come to see, the twinkle and everything. It's just that I'd was realised that I can have the feeling I thought you could only have when something is twinkly, about just kind of grimy, loud tube, or whatever it was. Joyce, near his death, wrote in a letter, "My eyes are tired. For over half a century, they have gazed into a nullity where they have found a lovely nothing." And that's it. It's nothing, but it's lovely. It can be. It's such a good option, this way. I'll do now. I think this is going to be a world first, and use Neutral Milk Hotel lyrics in James Joyce analysis, and offer you a verse from In the Aeroplane Over the Sea. What a beautiful face I've found in this place that is circling all round the sun. And when we meet on a cloud, I'll be laughing out loud. I'll be laughing with everyone I see. Can't believe how strange it is to be anything at all. A fantastic article which you should read in a few months, called James Joyce's Chance Encounters in the New Yorker, has: "He didn't believe in miracles, he believed in coincidences. Chance furnishes me with what I need," he told a friend. I'm like a man who stumbles. My foot strikes something. I look down, and there is exactly what I'm in need of. Oh man. And I've got some more lyrics now in the spirit of those two steps. There's nothing you can do that can't be done, nothing you can sing that can't be sung, nothing you can say, but you can learn how to play the game. It's easy. Nothing you can make that can't be made, nothing you can save that can't be saved, nothing you can do, but you can learn how to be you in time. It's easy. There's nothing you can know that isn't known, nothing you can see that isn't shown. There's nowhere you can be that isn't where you're meant to be. It's easy. And I've actually not written down, but all you need is love. Dun, dun, dun. All you need is love. All you need is love, love, love. Love is all you need. Disclaimer. As we approach the end of this series in a few minutes' time, I want to remind you something I'm sure you don't really need reminding of, is that I don't know the way to live. I'm just relaying what I think these books are recommending. But I also wanted to say that, I think why I wanted to have this disclaimer is to say that these books haven't solved it either, and that but offering particulars for the sake of revealing the universal is kind of a great shared project. Though some of us, might just tap the kind of side of the rock and lose some dust or hardly anything, and there, while others, kind of Joyces, are coming in with huge sticks of dynamite and blowing through it. There's still rock to be carved through, and even not necessarily in a kind of artistic pursuit, but just in I don't know what to recommend, but I would hope you would see this project as unfinished, and believe that a contribution from you would be worthwhile and welcome and useful. I'm going to actually skip or leave out most of this because it's I'm tempted to do a word I've just discovered called a peroration, where you end a speech with a kind of uplifting and inspiring, snappy finish. But I would like to say something profound and then go, in the particulars contained the universal. Thank you. But this is a kind of quieter and slower thing than that. You've spent, I don't know, maybe 40 hours reading these books, and I'm really grateful for that, by the way. So I think I will just end with an anecdote that I think Joyce would like.